Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Kaldheim draft here on the channel. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below with your questions or feedback. Also, hit that bell icon so you get notified when I post future videos. All that stuff is free, and it does help me out. And if you would like to support my content directly, you can do so via the Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. This draft is just for you fine folks on YouTube. And if for those of you wondering why there's no camera, it's just going to be a nice chill draft, and I didn't really want the extra stress of having the camera on. Not like anything wild is happening or anything, but sometimes it's more relaxing to just chill out. But we're going to be starting off with Giant's Amulet, I believe. Dream Devourer is not a rare that I'm super happy playing, and the rest of this pack is pretty bad. The commons, I think the best one is probably Stalwart Valkyrie, or maybe Snow Forest even, which is kind of wild. But Giant's Amulet, 5 mana, 4/5, really hard to attack into. And then it just does a lot of, good at blocking, and it works in Giant decks. Pretty much all there is to say about that one. Not really a great pack. I could see an argument for Snow Forest, maybe, if you really loved Snow, but I don't love taking a first pick Snow Forest over just a solid card. Well, now we have a Giant's Amulet. Second pick, we immediately have the choice between Mistwalker and Icebind Pillar. I think we're going to take the Pillar, because you don't need that many Snowlands for this card to just be fantastic. Like, if you have, 4 or 5 Snowlands, it's going to be pretty good in your deck. I just realized that there's a person inside of the Icebind Pillar. That's kind of yikes. I think Mistwalker's a solid card. It's a more conservative pick for sure, because you're not guaranteed to get there on the Pillar, but Pillar is just really worth going for, I'd say. Let's take a moment to see if I know anyone in my draft pod, or if anyone in my draft pod is watching the video, because that's kind of cool as well. But yeah, we're just going to take the Icebind Pillar. Second pick would be Mistwalker. Third pick would probably be the Snow-Covered Forest over the Gladewalker, though that one's close. Maybe Beskir Shieldmaid is better than that. So we've started off with 2 blue cards. And now the choice for me comes down to Masked Vandal versus Snow Mountain. I like Snow Mountain because I already have a card that would be good in Blue-Red Giants, and Blue-Red Giants is a pretty good spot to end up. Masked Vandal would put me into a Blue-Green Snow deck, potentially. I guess I should probably steer clear of the color until I have an indication that it might be open. I don't think there's a good blue card in this pack. And also I could just abandon these 2 blue cards. So I'm not going to take the Mountain, I don't think. I'm just going to take the Masked Vandal here. I think it's the best card in the pack. I'm not a huge fan of Trickster God's Heist. But yeah, we'll just take a Masked Vandal. Move towards blue-green snow, potentially. Fourth pick, there's not a blue card that's really great. There's Raven form, but I'm not going to take that fourth. I very rarely play that card. There is not a green card worth speaking of, but there is a fourth pick, Feed the Serpent. There's also a fourth pick, Crush the Weak. Crush the Weak works well with the creatures I have so far. Alpine Meadow works with the Pillar, but I don't really want the red-white dual land, so I'm just going to take Feed the Serpent. Fourth pick, it is an okay spot to get a Feed the Serpent. Ooh, an interesting pick for sure. So, the best card in the pack is another Feed the Serpent, in terms of, spells. There's also a Snow-Covered Island to work with the Icebind Pillar, which I think it's probably a mistake to take the Island over the Feed the Serpent. And then there's Yarrow, if I ended up in blue-green. The thing is, and the reason I'm going to take Feed the Serpent, is because getting 1 pick 5 is pretty nice. And also, blue has not seemed particularly open. I guess we got past this card second, but after that, we haven't really seen blue cards, and so I'm not really sure if I want to try to commit to blue-green, especially because green hasn't necessarily been open. And getting a pick 5 Feed the Serpent is a pretty good indication that black is probably open. That is one of the better black cards. Okay, and we could just play blue-black or something of that nature. There's a Highland Forest here. I'm mostly focused on blue-black at the moment. There's a Priest of the Haunted Edge, but I'm not really that sort of deck right now. Jarl of the Forsaken is much better and more aggressive variants of these decks, but you can certainly... my deck is certainly not committed to being anything, really. I think this pick comes down to Jarl versus the Highland Forest versus the Raise the Dragger. I don't think Priest is a good pick here without having a single Snowland. I'm going to take the Jarl. I think it's the best card in the pack. And it gets me deeper into black, which is the color that I'm most likely to play. Okay, and now we are seeing some red cards. 3 red cards to be precise. Squash, Mountain, and Frostbite. And then there's Carter's Vicious Return, indicating that black-red may be open, even though this card itself is not super great a lot of the time. I have 1 giant to work with this Squash. I think black-red's a fine spot to end up. It's not really a color that utilizes Squash very well. So I'm going to take the Frostbite here over the Snow-Covered Mountain. Wow. So late Beskir Shieldmate. Beskir is probably better than Liberator, but I'm just going to take a red 2-drop. We're just going to try and find our... We've been finding our lane. We're kind of abandoning our first 3 picks here. This is the sort of spot where you're like, well, my deck might not be the most powerful, but it has some stuff working for it. This is a nice combo with Jarl of Forsaken. I wouldn't mind a Demonic Gifts. That's also a combo with Jarl a little bit. I don't love Dream Devourer. Don't think the card's very good. But I think we found the open colors at least, which is at least something. I don't like Dogged Pursuit, but I'm not really going to be playing green unless I open something absurd in green. But I'm not going to play Dogged Pursuit either. Snow-Covered Mountain is nice because I do have this Frostbite, so if I do get a few Snowlands, it would be really nice. Dusk Wielder is the sort of card that I think is really bad. But sometimes you just have a deck that just wants to be all-out aggro. I don't know if this card's even good in those decks, but something to keep in mind. I'm going to take the Snowland, because if I can enable Frostbite, it gets significantly better. Now I'll take the Valkyrie. It's not super good, but it's in my colors a little bit. Now Village Rites. Okie doke. So pack 1 went decently, I'd say. We at least identified our colors. We're pretty much just going to be playing black-red because we saw a good amount of black cards, a good amount of red cards, and they were like late pickups. Like our good blue and green cards were our first 3 picks. In pack 2, we could take a Frostbite here to start things off. It's not going to be great for us, but it can combine with a Haggai Mob to take something down. It can combine with Jarl in a pinch. What else is in this pack? There's like cards that we can't play because we're not going to be splashing in our black-red deck. There's also Coma's Faithful. There is Village Rites number 2, which should wheel. Draugr Recruiter's a little bit slow for my taste. I might play Dread Rider, but I'm just going to take the Frostbite here. So now the pick is between Vengeful Reaper and Shimmerdrift Veil. I'm probably going to take the Reaper just because it's a better spell. But I do like this card, and having 2 Frostbites does make it more appealing to take Shimmerdrift Veil. But again, my deck is not going to care about snow a lot, or maybe I haven't said that yet, but my deck is not going to care about snow a lot if it's in these colors, so if Frostbite has to just be a shock, then that's what it's going to be. We're just going to accept the fact that maybe blue-green's going to look open this pack. We're going to stay disciplined, hold the course. Stay disciplined, hold the course, Nikolai. Because we didn't see it in pack 1, which means in pack 2, we're probably going to see a lot of blue-green stuff, Sultai Snow things. Because, like, we started off with down that path, and we're not rewarded at all. So we are going to just take kind of grindy cards, just try to play a black-red grindy deck, maybe. Village Rites, hopefully maximize that a little bit. Maybe get another Jarl on the wheel, but... Shackles of Treachery works with Village Rites. I'm going to take the Egon God of Death over the Squash. Squash is kind of expensive. I already have 2 Feed the Serpents, 2 Frostbites for removal. Squash, I don't have any ways to enable it. And Egon's a pretty, like, unique way to enable the, like, late game. It's like a, if you cast the Throne of Death, you get some nice card advantage from that. And then maybe I wheel Shackles. I hope I wheel Shackles. Okie doke. And now there's a Return Upon the Tide. Do I have any elves? No, not really. So I don't think the card's very good if you don't get elves back. I'm just going to take Village Rites. I think it's going to be better than Return Upon the Tide. And now take the Dwarven Reinforcements over the Grim Draugr. I guess the Grim Draugr is a snow permanent. And I'm lacking on 3-drops a little bit. But this works better with Village Rites. And Reckless Crew is just horrific. So I'm just going to take the Dwarven Reinforcements. And now there's a Coma's Faithful. Late Vengeful Reaper. So that's nice. There's a Cavalry, but we're just going to take the Reapers, just more powerful. Third Village Rites or second Coma's Faithful. I'm kind of down to just try and maximize Village Rites in my deck. I think that could be a fun like angle of attack that I haven't tried yet. I'm not going to take those cards. If you copy... I have a lot of stuff to copy. You can like copy a draw effect. There's also a Demonic Gift, which works well with Elderfang Disciple. Jarl. I'm just going to take the Demonic Gifts, maybe. Maybe I was supposed to take the other card. Jarl's nice, though. Makes me happier to have that Demonic Gifts. It looks like the Shackles isn't going to wheel, but I think that'll be with 4 cards left in the pack, so maybe it will. Maybe that was that last pack. I forget. I think it was that last pack. Because I would play Shackles with 3 Village Rites. Currently not going to play this Hailstorm Valkyrie. The Demonic Gifts. I think I could probably get a Dread Rider in pack 3 if I really wanted one. Wow, Grim Draugr came back. That's actually pretty nice. Getting more snow permanents for my Frostbites is a nice addition. Dogged Pursuit, last pick. Okay. So, here we can take a Rune of Mortality. It works well with Haggai Mob. That's a pretty powerful combo to set up. There's a Tormentor's Helm that might wield a combo with it, but I'm not really a Tormentor's Helm deck. My deck isn't super aggressive. It's more grindy. Let's do that. So let's make the card bigger, but pretty easy Rune of Mortality here. And now Calamity Bearer, just a good red card. It is my only giant, but I'm okay with that. Skull Raid's nice value, but take the Great Red Rare. And now a Snow Mountain. Wow, Agar and Svella. But those aren't my colors, so we're going to stick in our lane here. Hold the course, as they say. Infernal Pet's probably okay in this deck. Snow Mountain making Frostbites. Like, Frostbite will sometimes do an extra damage, which is great. Ooh, a third Feed the Serpent. Nice, nice. If we have both our Snowlands and this Grim Draugr in play. Grim Draugr is also just a fine addition with 2 Snowlands. I'm just going to take the Elderfang Disciple. It works well with these Village Rites that we're playing right now. We're not really a Death Knell Berserker deck. We don't buff it up very well. It does work with the Demonic Gifts, but so does Elderfang Disciple. Elderfang works better with Jarl because it's like a 1/1, so they'll attack into it and stuff. So right now my first cuts are probably the 3rd Village Rites is a cuttable. Because right now I have 24 cards in this deck. Like 24 spells, 2 lands. It's weird that we haven't seen any Snow Swamps. So Feed the Serpent, number 4. Rise of the Dreadmarn. I'm not really into Rise of the Dreadmarn here. Draugr's Helm. I found that to be a little bit clunky. Just going to keep taking Premium Removal Spell. Or not, maybe not. The 4th copy is a little bit clunkier than the first one, but it's still nice to just be able to kill anything. Wow. I'm going to just take another Feed the Serpent. There is a Sulphurous Mire, which works with my Frostbites and just helps my colors out a lot. But 5th Feed the Serpent. Kind of cool. The land does help with my 2 Frostbites and my difficult color requirements. But I'm just going to take this anyway. How many times does one get the chance to go for 5 copies of something like this? I'm going to take the Dwarven Reinforcements now because I can sack it to my Village Rights and not feel bad about it. And because I don't really need my Frostbites to be able to deal 3 because I kind of have that covered with my 5 Feed the Serpents. Okay, what do I want now? I guess Kennel Master could be okay, but it's not the greatest. I don't really want the 2-drop, though. Skull Raid is some nice value. Wow, late Agar. The old Infernal Pet sees the spoils. Death Knell doesn't really do much for me if I'm not playing Demonic Gifts. The big appeal of taking a dual land is because I'm going to definitely make playables anyway. I'm going to cut the Demonic Gifts. It just does not work well with my tokens. We're going to run 5 Feed the Serpents for Science. I'm going to cut Coma's Faithful. I'm going to cut Infernal Pet. I like the Jarl, Haggai Mob, Rune of Mortality, little combo, Skull Raid for value. This is nice. If I cut Grim Draugr, then I just cut these 2 Snow Mountains because they no longer do anything. I mean, my deck is pretty cheap, so I could probably shave a land. What would I rather cut, though? Maybe Fearless Liberator. Yeah, I like this build. I'm going to try out the triple Village Rights. For those wondering why I'm not playing the Snowlands, Frostbite needs me to have 3 things in play, and I only have 2 Snowlands if I cut this 3-2, which I think cutting the 3-2 is correct, so. Lots of card quality here. And we'll see if we can get it done. I'm going to experiment with this build. Maybe I'll change it up after a couple rounds, but this is where we're starting, and I'll see you folks in the matches. Before I get to the matches, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the patrons who support me and my content at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and special thanks to those who support at the credits level. It has grown to such a point where there are now 2 columns of patron credit, folks, and I really do appreciate all of the people who help me continue producing high-quality content on a consistent basis. If you think that my videos have provided you with some value, you can find more information about what it means to become a patron at patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. As I said before, It is flexible. It can be for any amount that you want each month, and it can be canceled at any time. So there's no long-term commitment if you have an unstable situation budgetary-wise. But I really do want to thank all of the patrons who support me. And without further ado, let's get to the matches. Welcome to round one. We're in a pretty good hand here. We have our turn one Throne of Death to start us off with some value. Or start getting creatures in the graveyard to get value, I guess. That's like our late game card advantage engine, really, that we're going to use to fuel us to victory combined with all our removal. This should be a pretty good matchup. We'll just kill everything they play a couple of Elderfang Disciples, sack it to draw cards. It wasn't efficient to do that on the Clarion Spirit then. It would be more efficient to do this, but this way they don't get a 1/1. I wish it had been a ground creature, but it's not. Because then I could block sack. I want to hit my land drop, so I'm just going to do this. I'm going to foretell that. I could have put Death Touch on this, but they're just going to tap it, I think. Now I'll have a double block on this next turn no matter what. There goes Hagi Mob. Okay. So no matter what, I'll double block this Gold Maw Champion pretty much. I can feed the Serpent this thing. I'll just feed the Serpent it. Okay. Maybe I do want Coma's Faithful just for some extra life gain in this deck. Flyers are certainly a problem. Yeah, flyers are a problem for my deck. I can stall out the ground, and I can kill most things, just flyer every turn is tough. Gosh. Tough. Tough, tough. That was just rough, I think. That all of their cards were flyers. I think that was not something that happens commonly. They played 2 ground creatures. If I'd known that they had 4 flyers that were 3/2s in their deck, I would not have frostbited the Clarion Spirit, probably. But that was just rough in the way it worked out. I think it's just kind of a matchup thing where their deck probably struggles against a deck that has a lot more big ground creatures, and mine struggles against decks with like a bunch of 2-mana 3/2 flyers, essentially. Okay, this is a good hand. We have our combo. We don't have any of our early creatures, but that's okay. We can at least just skull raid them a little bit, mess with them. And on turn 4, we can kill something. Just gonna hit him now, because this is where we'll have the mana up to do it. Make things tough on him. Snakeskin Veil hits the dust. I'm going to take that guy out now. We have a lot of Feed the Serpents in the deck. So we can Feed the Serpent the Troll next turn. Interesting, interesting. And they scoop it up. They clearly don't have a removal spell that can handle it. Do we even want this Egon in the deck? It is a nice, like, inevitability engine a little bit. But maybe we just want more, like, cheap threats and stuff. Like, I feel like we have a decent number of creatures. But our curve could get pretty clunky. Let's just try that. Cut the clunky card draw for another cheap creature. A cheap creature that works well with Jarl of the Forsaken because it incentivizes them to block. You love to see it. If they play a 1-drop, we will frostbite it. I imagine they don't like to see Elder Fang Disciple. Just an irritating card against blue-white. I'm just going to play the creature out. If I draw a land, I can just cast these anyway. And otherwise, I can just Frostbite, Foretell, or something. Not sure whether to hold up Village Rise or Frostbite there. This is tough to beat. But they aren't going to have anything to work with. I have exile effects, which are really good against this. I'm just going to stall here. Dig for a Feed the Serpent. There we go. Now this is scary for them. I still have 2 Village Rites in the deck, so I'll be fine. I think I'm going to exile this next turn. I'll take 1 more hit for 3. So what could that be? It's not card draw. It could be a counter. Of course it's a counter. Did I not attack with it last? No, I did. Okay. So what is this? It's not Behold. It's not a counter. Is it Doomscar? I'm gonna wait. I don't know what it is. I can flash in this Jarl on the end step. I guess I could have played this, but I don't know what this is. I guess I should have played it. Playing scared of a Doomscar is just weak. I was hesitant to flash this in because it would mean that I couldn't attack with some of my guys. Now that I have this removal for their blockers. Threatening lethal. Is it Doomscar? So they block here, they take 3. Oh my gosh, do I actually die? I can't believe it. I just drew too many lands here. Oh my gosh, I totally botched this game. I could have done the extra damage. I don't know what this is, but that was my fault. I could have won this. I needed to add more pressure to finish him off. Oh! Oh, is it double strike? Did they miss it? Is it bounce? Wow, I really botched this game. I could have got that extra point of damage in earlier. Oh gosh. Raven form, eh? So they're dead. They block there. Whew! That was wild. I almost completely threw the game by playing around way too much from the exile zone. Wow. I almost horrendously butchered that game. But I ended up getting him with Xaxes because they didn't go for lethal. So, kind of the punt, counter punt there. I think I would have won that game if I'd played it properly and just run out my Dwarven Berserkers and flashed in my Jarl earlier. But overall, barely getting the job done. Playing around Doomscar for no reason. I just, wasn't thinking of possible cards. Kaya's Onslaught would have also made sense. Even Iron Price could have made sense because I didn't have any big creatures. But we beat the Halvar card. Okey-doke. Another keeper. We're on the play. I think this deck is actually fine on the draw. Being on the play is also okay. I should have played the Frost the Mountain, but I'm probably going to be able to block most of the 1-drops they play. And this way they have no idea what I have. But yeah, I should have played Mountain. There's no reason not to. This deck would love a couple to scary Firewalkers or something. So what's this? Could be Iron Price, could be Demon Bolt. Demon Bolt's pretty bad against my deck because of my village rights. Sure. They missed a land drop. Oh my gosh. My hand was going to take about 50 turns to kill them. Oh my gosh. Well, we're scrapping it out. Wow, this is what, so like if you're ever like, wow, I can't possibly win, my opponent has 4 lands, 3 spells in hand, just remember that sometimes they're going to have 2 village rights and to feed the serpent in their hand and be completely useless at killing you. Okie doke. I like it. It does wish it had an Elder Fang Disciple, of course, but we've got turn 2 Vengeful Foretell, turn 3 play Vengeful to block or attack, whatever's necessary. Ooh, white-green, okay. So now we've got all of our lands set up. We got 2 Feed the Serpents for whatever big creatures they play. Vengeful Reaper can hold down the fort. I'm liking our spot here. They can put another counter, I don't care. Okay. So we take out 2 of their cards. Then we play Jarl so that's what gets killed by the fall of the imposter. Wow, there goes Cosmos Elixir. Yeah, we don't want them to get card advantage out of that, so we're going to have to exile that. Anything that generates advantage I have to get rid of immediately, pretty much. Because my deck is just filled with 1-for-1s, so I just don't want to have to deal with recurring card advantage. It is funny that Feed the Serpent gets so wrecked by Snakeskin Veil. Because Serpent, Snakeskin, you can't feed the Serpent Snakeskin. They won't eat it. If they want to attack, I'll trade. Next turn I can exile this, can get my guy out, hit for 4. Okay, what's it gonna be, bud? Follow the Imposter? Maybe Cosmos Elixir? Nope, follow the Imposter. I would have been very tempted by Cosmos Elixir there. Okay, so we can kill this. It was just in case they had another rune or something. Bounding gold. So I kind of want them to go for the Fall of the Imposter and start attacking me. I'm coming for you, Ox. I don't want to play this Reaper because they probably don't want to use Fall of the Imposter to kill my 1/1. And if they do, I'm pretty happy. Sure. I still have 2 Feed the Serpents left. And some Death Touch stuff. I did that so that I could foretell if I drew something. Wow, there's my last couple copies of Feed the Serpent. If I play something like that I actually care about, I can do it. But my 2/3 Death Touch can hold down the Giant Ox, and my Beskir, I can take out the Beskir Shield Mate with Hagi Mob pings. They're really hoping they get a plane so they can start buffing their guys. I feel very confident in victory right now. Feed the Serpent can kill anything, which is really nice. Okay. Maybe I could have played that slightly better. Like, if they had a pump spell, they couldn't have used it with the way I played it. But then I gave them a window to use it. This is probably struggle for Skemfar. Five, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I have lethal on board. I don't need to play this. I can hold up this to protect against their struggle for Skemfar. Like if they play Lindworm struggle, all of a sudden they can't. And before you say I miscounted, I also have the ping. Oh wait, but I didn't miscount. Let's go. Got him. Let's double check to see what it was. Rank up. It was struggle for Skemfar, yep. We called it. This deck is cruising. The Village Rites have actually been pretty good. Feed the Serpent's been excellent. You know, 4 mana, exile anything. Pretty nice. I like this hand a lot. On the draw, Frostbite is really good. Because you can just kill stuff. Like, if they play a 2-drop, I get to kill it, then foretell this sort type of deal. Next turn I can play this and Frostbite something. You hate to see the pack mates when your deck is a 1-for-1 grindy deck. Not gonna block. Cause I get to hit them for 4. Oh my gosh, well. This is probably not going to be a victory for us. We're scrapping together wins with our Junkers and their, and we're getting mana screwed, yikes. And they're just playing like the great commons. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to foretell this. I'll hold up Village Rites and Frostbite. And then I'll block and Frostbite one of them. This is just ridiculous. Come on, opponent. Give me something to work with. What am I dealing with here? It's not fair. They just play no 2 toughness creatures and all pack mates? Like, come on. They gotta have something in this deck. Oh my gosh. Next turn I can play Dwarven Reinforcements, then Jarl to kill the pack mate. Jeez Louise. I'm gonna hope the top deck can either feed the Serpent to take out this Rootless Hue. This is a tad bit unfortunate. They didn't play a single card that dies to Frostbite. This is my nightmare matchup. What you gonna get? Ghostbusters! Oh, Battle Mammoth? Well, I'm just gonna concede. Yeah, I can't beat that. I can't beat their Troll and Battle Mammoth and 3 pack mates. Jeez Louise. What do you think I am? Some kind of person that actually has good cards in my deck? I'm just scrapping my way as far as I can get. Honestly, getting to 4 wins is pretty wild with this pile of... I mean, I don't really know. This deck is not great. Ugh, every card they played was a 2-for-1 that game, pretty much. They played 2 Rootless Hues, 3 pack mates, Battle Mammoth, just like 2-for-1 creatures the deck. Pretty much the hard counter to my own deck. Just as how our first round opponent played small flyers that cost 2 mana and have 3 power of the deck. But, I mean, this deck is performing. It's pretty fun to play, too. It's kind of a wacky take on control. Okay, we're keeping. We will put these tokens to good use. With Village Rights and Jarl. Jarl. I'm just going to play the Dwarven Reinforcements, because then I'd have 4 power in play out by turn 3. And if they go for removal, I can Village Rights. I'm just going to double Foretell here. Elderfang doesn't do much without my Jarl being up. They could have a discard spell, so I'm going to be careful here. I'm going to keep this mountain in hand. We'll take out 3 of their cards in one fell swoop. Demon Bolt bites the dust? Oh no. Are they going to use a removal spell on my 2-1? I could have gotten Village Rights value. Playing safe. Cautious, cautious, cautious. Now I can play this land because I'm still got 2 extra lands to discard if I need to. Haha! I have a Jarl as well, my keen amigo. Well, that's not fair. I choose one. They put the chosen card in their hand. Okay, so they get to have a spell. No! Oh, we were dominating them, and then they just hit us with the mythic. I will let you have Firewalker. Yeah, I figured they wouldn't block. We're eking out our value where we can. This is ludicrous. We're gonna have to sack it. Sadly. Do they have a Village Rights as well? Nope. They do have Firewalker value, but, you know. I don't want to take 6. Yes! Justice! Dinner is served. So I'll trade there. No value for you. No! The pup. Le pup. If they had drawn as many lands as I've drawn, because I've drawn 11. Okie doke. I would be in fine shape if they had drawn 11 lands. Unfortunately, I am the one who's drawn 11 lands. Which makes this incredibly difficult for me. Like, I haven't quite lost, but, like, I don't have ways to draw multiple cards in a turn, so I just have to hope they have nothing here. And then I draw another Feed the Serpent. Hagi Mob, that'll do. But, like, one of these is probably a removal spell. We're in it. Oh my gosh, what a draw. He top decks with the best of them. That's what they always say about Nicolai. He top decks with the best of them. Let's go. 2 top decks in a row. Wow. We managed to win that game, despite flooding horrifically and then playing a Runescarred Demon, but you know. Such is the power of the dark side of the Force. Wow. That was probably my 2 best draws in sequence, and them not attacking in with their 4/4. So, pretty great stuff there. 5 wins with what looks to be a very mediocre deck, shall we say. But you know, if your deck has a game plan, like our deck does, you can do anything. You just have to believe in yourself. Believe, Simba. I don't know. I was thinking of Mufasa vibes. Simba. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, chat. Chat isn't even here and I'm talking to chat. YouTube comments are honorary chat. They are members of the Twitch chat. We're all in the community together. Padawan Fall. Padawan. On the play. We're chilling. Maybe black is just misunderstood. Maybe Village Rites is just the clutchest of them all. Does this deck even have a rare in it after I cut the Egon? Nope, I don't think so. This is one of the reasons I like experimenting too, because like typically I don't play Village Rites, but like trying out a deck of 3 of them, playing the Dwarven Reinforcements and the Elder Fangs to sacrifice to it, just kind of a lot of stuff coming together really nicely here. Normally you don't get to see the pet. I usually use the Eldraine Fox. It just makes me happy. Oh, yes. Good dog. Well, foxes are technically... Oh, no. I've set myself up here. If I say foxes are technically cats, I'm going to get wrecked. Because they aren't cats. They're definitely dogs. Or close. They're in the dog family, I'm pretty sure. Canines, maybe. Oh, no. I've set myself up for failure. Why would I ever try to claim knowledge about the natural world? Oh, no. Opponent, you've given me too much time. I've hoisted my own petard. Or been hoisted. Oh, wrecked. I know someone in the comments is going to know the answer. I feel like foxes are like dogs. But are they? Are they actually? No. The pain. Not knowing. Not wanting to search it up for fear of being incorrect. we can double block with confidence. It only has 1 power, so... Like, if they have a run amok, that's good for them, but trading a 1/3 for a 2/1's pretty good for me. Okay, well. So I traded this. I don't know, and this for 2 cards, so I didn't end up down anything. And they had to use Frostbite, which maybe threw off their curve. Just gonna be all set up and ready to go. Back for round 2 with the double block. Come at me, Finn. No, my nemesis. My nemesis. This card's really good in my deck, this Jarl. Wow, there goes Jasper, a Sentinel. I can double block this guy. Wow, Faceless Haven. Yikes. How many snowlands do they have to run this bad boy? I don't know, but it looks like they're kind of close to it. Wow, that's good for me. And then I can make this trade. Or I can just exile that. I think I'm going to do that. And the reason I'm doing that is because this is not only represents itself as a creature. Okay, well, the reason I was going to do that is because it represents not only itself, but also turning on this Faceless Haven to be a dangerous threat. Because they're probably going to get a Snowland with it. Oh, please have Struggle for Scamfar or something. That would be so good for me. Okay, that's not great. Before you ask, it has Hexproof. Get out of here. Basically taking out multiple 4/4s. I'll block. So this Faceless Haven is now probably a threat I'll have to deal with. But I have this Jarl to block it. Yep, okay. So we're both in top deck mode, but I have this, and they have this. So it's roughly even, but I get an extra draw step. Okay, the extra draw step was useless. We're not going to give them any indication that we have something here. So I would say that this game is roughly 50-50 right now. But they're playing 3 colors and most likely have some powerful stuff going on. No! Oh, that's rough. What a draw. Well, that could be costly. That's a real bummer. Can't believe it. They top deck the Disdainful Stroke. That's going to be 8 damage I'm not getting back. And now I have to trade Hagi Mob for it. Ugh. Ugh. So we've drawn basically the same number of lands because they searched a land up. Top deck for top deck. Here we go. Ooh. Not the greatest at this moment. I still have 3 Feed the Serpents left. Those are good top decks. Ah! The sound effect of utter despair. Just 5 Snowlands, Gravenlore. I gotta say, they have top decked a little bit better than me here. They have the Disdainful Stroke top deck into Gravenlore eventually, like 2 draws down the line. So this is just one of those tough cases where, again, we just don't have the tools to compete here, unfortunately. Our deck needs to not flood out like this. Like 10 lands when you're 21 cards deep isn't unreasonable given the land to spell ratio. It's like a little bit on the high side. But if we drew 2 more spells, then our spells kind of chain together because they're kind of like synergistic with these Village Rites and stuff. Another thing, yeah. And their deck is like very, very tailored for this sort of thing. They have a lot of 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s even. So Dwarven Reinforcements would be my best draw, or I might even used it already. That was a punt. The way I tap my mana. Because now if I top deck a Feed the Serpent off of sacking this to Village Rites, I can't do anything. Whereas before I had that out. Yikes. GG. There was a glimmer of hope there in the mid-game when we were in a top deck war, and then they drew a card draw spell, which just sunk me. I think I drew 3 lands and a Village Rites in the top deck section of that game, which was not helpful. I also drew Hagi Mob, I guess. So it was a noble effort, I will say, against a force that was not only slightly better in the long game, but also drew a little bit better, I must say. I have to think. I'm assuming they drew a little bit better than me there. It'll help me sleep tonight. But 5-3 with this like sweet black-red brew. I gotta say, I kind of like it. I'm pretty happy with how this did. I guess Egon would have been good in that matchup, but this guy did work in other matchups, so I'm okay with it. Yeah. Gotta be said, Village Rites performed well, even though it wasn't great in that last game. The Dwarven Reinforcements plus Village Rites plus Jarls. It was all like a beautiful synergistic combo. Jarl plus Hagi Mob. I never did understand if it was Hagi or Hagi, but, you know. Elderfang Disciple was great. Rune was good. Skull Raid. All these cards were pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with how we built the deck. It was prone to flooding a little bit. With this many 4-drops, though, you have to play 17 lands. It's just, you have to. But yeah. Interested to see what you folks thought of that one. It was pretty unconventional, and those are the most interesting ones. I guess we did have one rare in the deck, but I think it was in play once and it immediately got Luminous Bonds or not bound in gold, so it was like we were playing a rareless deck here, so just competing with our commons and uncommons, which was pretty fun. If you did make it all the way to the end of the video, in the comment section down below, leave hashtag scrapping it out, because that's the kind of the words that come to mind when I think of this deck. It was just kind of like nickel and diming them, battling hard, and then eventually closing. We had a couple of really close ones that one opponent could have gone for lethal with their Angel, but they played around me having another Feed the Serpent, which, to be fair, I could have had. I had 4 cards in hand, but we were just kind of battling it out and barely got that win. But yeah, hashtag scrapping it out to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video. Remember that if you do enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, click that bell to get notified when I post future videos, and comment with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. It is free to do all of those things, and I really do appreciate it. If you would like to support my content, though, you can do so via the Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas. I've posted like 30-something videos in a row at this point, so if you do enjoy the stream of content, not literally streaming, though that is a form of my content, but if you enjoy all this content I've been making and you want to help support it, you can do so via the Patreon. Also, if you have Amazon Prime, you can link your Amazon account and Twitch account, because Amazon owns Twitch, and subscribe to my Twitch channel for free. So even if you don't watch Twitch, even if it's just these YouTube videos that you enjoy, if you do have Amazon Prime, you can support my content and do my additional cost to yourself. You can also find my articles, my page articles, the Discord server, and all those links in the description and pinned comment below. That is going to do it for this draft video, though. I do hope you enjoyed it. No camera today, but a lot of fun. And I will talk to you folks next time.